Hello, everybody. So before I start, I just want to give a heads up. I do not have my sound setup fully configured on this PC yet, so you will hear my keyboard. There is no noise gate. I apologize. Future videos will be different, but I wanted to get this out there pretty much as soon as possible for a variety of reasons. So without further ado, I guess I'll start right here. So I'll be doing a very quick, very succinct and non-exhaustive tutorial of Vinconomy, an economy mod for Vintage Story. This is an awesome mod. Thank you, SeveredSkullz, for creating it. It allows you to basically create a sort of offline economy in Vintage Story outside of the default auction trading that is in the game. And it's a very cool way of just establishing economies, and I very much look forward to using it in future videos and in future gameplay. So, this will at least be enough information to get started, and I'm looking to make this video as quick as possible, but we'll see. I'll probably go off on tangents and similar things. So, yes, without further ado, this is my little default test store. Nothing very special, but it will work for this purpose. The first thing that you will require for a shop is a cash register. Now, cash registers can be made out of any metal type, as of the creation of this video, and they are basically what they are the core of the store. They are what makes up a store. They hold 1, the currency or goods that you receive in trade, and 2, the name and the descriptions, which I'll go into slightly further detail in a minute, and 3, the waypoint. The waypoint allows you to basically, set a waypoint on the maps of other players so they can easily access or find your store. You can also select different icons depending on what you're selling, or more generic icons in case you don't want to simply define your shop by one single trade good. You can basically pick whatever you want from this selection. For example, it was originally a shop, now it's a miscellaneous shop, or miscellaneous shop rather. So, yes. This is the core of your store. It requires 2 plates of metal, a chest, and birch logs. So you want to be obviously at least a little bit into copper before you start, or rather you need to at least be a little ways into copper, enough for you to actually be able to make wood boards, and chests, because from what it seems, the majority of the shop shelves, which I'll be showing off in a second, do require chests, which of course require nails and strips, etc., etc. Now, 2 important things before I show off the shelving units, the shelves. You can also create a ledger, which you can tie to a shop register, and it lets you see your sales throughout the month. I have not tested this thoroughly yet, but it's a very cool feature, and I look forward to seeing it in action. This requires pretty much just any book and an ink and quill, and you can create that, and that can be turned into a shop catalog. The shop catalog will let you see shops that are their location if it's broadcasted via waypoint, and you can also see from afar products that are on sale. You can see here I have a shop in the distance that has some random items in it for sale, and this was also where your description will go in terms of, I believe, the long description. So the first shelf I'll be showing off is the shop mat. This is just a very basic shelf. It just requires some cloth and a wooden chest. This allows you to put some generic items up for sale. Now, every stall or shelf will basically have this loadout more or less. First is the shop you want to actually attach it to. So right here is my test shop, is this shop register in particular. And then you can select a slot to put the item in. As you can see, I have 1 apple here in this back left slot, because this is slot 1. And then you can set a price, which can be just about anything, it seems. Even like a lump of fat. But you can set the price here. In this case, I'll say 1 rusty gear, a terrible deal, but this will now, for 1 apple, cost 1 gear. And you set cost per purchase and the items you receive per purchase. So yes, it's relatively self-explanatory. When a player that isn't you opens up this mat, it will display a different different layout where they can actually purchase the item. The second shelf or stall that I'll show, and here I'll set this to my current test shop, is the produce stall. And I'm basically going to be repeating myself more or less because this is where you can store produce and it will last longer. Now, this 100 or so red meat's already spoiling, so I'll give it back to the world. And I'll select, say, one of these crocks of rice porridge. As you can see, it is now in this back left slot, and it can be purchased for 1 gear per crock. And you can also see, since it is a shop crate or a produce crate, it'll last for 205 days instead of 31. Now, this could be configured to be different in server settings. I believe this is the default setting, though. I'm not exactly sure what the percentage is. But yes, this can be configured by server owners, and we may change this on our own server, but we will see. Nonetheless, it's nice to be able to have items for sale that are food products and be able to more or less refrigerate them. And I don't think it doesn't really cost anything. By default, it extends the lifetime of the item. So yeah, that is basically up to user, server owner preference, etc. Here we have a shop shelf, and it is basically more of the same. There's a lot of these different shelves that kind of serve the same purpose as like a shop mat, but just different ways of displaying items. So I won't repeat myself here, but you can see the different items are set here. They can't be bought necessarily. Actually, they're not for sale, given they don't have a price. So yes, you can't actually buy these because there's nothing set to actually buy them with. But obviously the moment you put in something to buy it for, it will update. In the top of my screen, you can see it says 1 wooden chest for 1 rusty gear. And any purchases that players make, the item that will be used to purchase the product with will go into the cash register. So this is a way to easily just grab the items that are the products that you're given in return for the products you're selling. Whether it's a currency or an item or whatever else. Here's a clothing stand. We have combat overhaul enabled, so you can see that it has the different layers and applies accordingly. And again, it is the same idea, except this has different slots depending on what part of the body it goes on. I'm not entirely sure how deep the compatibility is with combat overhaul, but yes, at least at the moment, this is what we have it set up for. And it also works with clothing. So you can sell both clothes and armor on these stands. And all these stands, again, operate basically the same way. Anything you buy will go into the cash register. Or rather, any currency you're given in return for the product will go into your cash register. You just have to make sure that's actually set up to the correct shop. One of the last and one of my favorite stalls that I'll go over is the sculpture stall. This lets you create basically multi-blocks, but sculptures, sculpted items for sale, and sell them all in one bundle. So you can even go as far as giving it a name. I'll just name this First Sculpt. And you can see it comes in layers. You can actually change the max width and length, but I already have this set here to 3x3. I believe it goes up to 5x5, but yes, it's basically set up to be the first layer here. Second is this middle layer, and third is the top layer. Sorry, 3, 2, 1. Yep. In order to be able to sell these, you have to disable the slots that are not being used. And then there you go. It is now available for sale. And when a player goes to purchase this, it will actually come out in a bundle and all of the blocks that are part of the sculpture can be taken around with a single, like inside of a single container that when you right click, it will put all of the sculpted items in your inventory. So that is the rough basics of Vinconomy. I might go into further detail regarding some of the other machines, like the gacha machines. But that is the idea. When you're offline, all of these stores function. And yeah, it's a very cool mod. And yeah, this is basically all I'll be covering in terms of this. But yeah, look forward to making use of this mod further. It's very simple, but also very robust and has more features than I could ever ask for, and I really appreciate the mod maker made this. So yep, that is it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.